On the 4th of December, 1872, a sailing ship was spotted in the middle of the Atlantic, 600 miles off the coast of Portugal, moving strangely under half-set sails. She answered no signals. She held no course. And when a boarding party finally climbed over her rail, they found a ship in almost perfect order. Cargo intact. Food and water for 6 months. The crew's clothing folded in their quarters. A sewing machine on a table. And beside it, unfinished sewing. And not one human being aboard. 10 people, including a 2-year-old girl, had vanished from a seaworthy ship in open ocean. They were never found. Not one of them in more than 150 years. Her name was the Mary Celeste, and she is the reason every ghost ship story since has been measured against her. The mystery does not begin with a cursed ship, but with an exceptionally ordinary one. The Mary Celeste was a modest merchant brigantine, just under 100 feet long, built for practical Atlantic trade. In November 1872, she was under the command of Captain Benjamin Briggs, a highly respected, sober mariner who owned a financial stake in the vessel. This was a family endeavor. Briggs brought his wife Sarah and their 2-year-old daughter Sophia, while their eldest son remained ashore. To handle the vessel, Briggs assembled a disciplined crew of 7 experienced seamen, including German brothers and cousins from a North Sea island, all with spotless records. As they prepared to depart New York for Genoa, carrying 1,701 barrels of raw industrial alcohol, Sarah Briggs wrote a final letter to her mother-in-law. Her words preserved a quiet domestic calm, noting that the cabin was comfortable and baby Sophia was cutting a tooth. They sailed out into the harsh autumn weather on November 7th. 8 days later, another brigantine, the DEI Gridea, departed on a nearly identical course. Her master, Captain David Morehouse, knew Briggs personally. The 2 men had shared a quiet dinner in New York just a week before setting sail, with no hint of the tragedy waiting on the horizon. Captain Morehouse watched the drifting brigantine through his glass for 2 hours before sending a boarding party across the swells. When the men climbed aboard, they were met by an eerie, absolute silence. The vessel was wet but structurally sound, holding about 3.5 feet of water in her hold. The hull was tight and the bilge pumps still worked perfectly, yet the ship was completely abandoned. The single lifeboat was gone, launched from a side where the rail had been deliberately lowered. From the stern, a long halyard trailed in the water, its end frayed and torn. The cabin and quarters revealed a departure that was rapid but orderly. The captain's sextant, chronometer, and ship's papers were gone, and the compass lay ruined in its smashed binnacle. Yet, the crew left behind their clothes, pipes, and money. In the family cabin, Sarah's melodeon stood silent near the child's toys, and ample food provisions remained untouched. The logbook lay open, with its last entry dated 10 days earlier, on November 25th, near Santa Maria Island in the Azores. It recorded only a routine voyage, giving no indication of why 10 people would suddenly flee into the open ocean. On December 13, 1872, the Dei Gratia towed the silent brigantine into the harbor of Gibraltar, presenting her to the Vice Admiralty Court for a salvage claim. What should have been a routine maritime rescue quickly transformed into a tense criminal investigation. Attorney General Frederick Solly Flood, acting as Queen's Proctor, suspected a dark conspiracy. Solly Flood searched for a crime where none was obvious, turning his suspicions first on the missing crew of the Mary Celeste, and then on Captain Morehouse and his salvors, hinting at violent collusion to secure the salvage payout. Court investigators scoured the vessel for signs of violence. They focused on dark marks found on Captain Briggs's ornamental sword, believing they had discovered dried blood. But chemical tests proved the stains were not blood, and a thorough search of the ship revealed no physical evidence of a struggle or injury. A significant physical clue lay not in the cabin, but hidden in the hold. When the cargo was unloaded in Genoa, the count showed 1,700 barrels, with 9 found completely empty. Those 9 anomalous casks were constructed of red oak, while the rest of the shipment was secured in tight white oak. Unlike white oak, red oak is highly porous, allowing liquid to seep and vent volatile vapor directly into the sealed hold. After a grueling 3-month inquiry, the court found no proof of criminal activity. Yet the damage was done. The court substantially reduced the salvage award paid to the crew of the Dei Gratia, and a persistent shadow of suspicion hung over Captain Morehouse for the rest of his life. With the official inquiry ending in an impasse, speculative theories filled the void. Popular imagination instantly turned to piracy and mutiny. Yet these stories crumbled against the physical reality of the ship. Pirates would have stolen the valuable cargo or the crew's personal money, both of which remained untouched. A mutiny of 7 experienced, highly recommended seamen against a fair captain left no signs of a struggle or violence. As the years passed, the explanations grew more imaginative. Writers proposed a sudden waterspout sucking the crew into the sky, or massive sea monsters dragging them from the deck. Decades later, writers swept the ship into the myth of the Bermuda Triangle, ignoring the simple geographic fact that the Mary Celeste was found thousands of miles away in the eastern Atlantic. Some suspected an insurance scam, but the owners never made a fraudulent claim, and the vessel returned to active service. Amidst the wild folklore, a more grounded mechanical theory took root. The boarding party had found one bilge pump disassembled and a sounding rod lying on the deck. If the pump had clogged with coal dust from previous voyages, a false sounding might have convinced Captain Briggs that the ship was rapidly filling with water. Fearing imminent sinking, he may have ordered a panic-driven but organized evacuation into the lifeboat, only for the Atlantic to claim them. 9 red oak barrels hold the key. Unlike white oak, red oak is highly porous. During the warm, rolling voyage, these casks seeped raw industrial alcohol into the dark, sealed hold, filling the space with volatile, invisible gas. A single spark from a shifting hoop or static charge could have ignited the mixture. In 2006, chemist Dr. Andrea Sella proved that an alcohol vapor flash can create a sudden, violent pressure wave, enough to lift the heavy wooden hatches with a terrifying rumble, yet leave absolutely no scorch marks or soot behind. To Captain Briggs, a man known for his extreme caution, this sudden blast would sound like an imminent explosion. Fearing for his family and crew, he likely ordered a temporary evacuation. The 10 passengers huddled in the single lifeboat trailing behind the Mary Celeste on a long stern line, waiting to see if the vessel would burn. Then came the tragic failure point. In the rising winter seas, the tethered boat jerked against the moving brigantine. The stern line frayed, snapped, and parted. With her sails still set, the empty Mary Celeste glided away into the swell, leaving 10 people drifting in an open boat far from shore with no oars and no hope. No trace of the boat or its passengers was ever found. If you want to explore more unsolved historical mysteries, please subscribe. Ultimately, the ocean keeps its secrets, leaving us only with haunted whispers. The Mary Celeste outlived her crew, but their silent fate remains locked beneath the waves, forever out of reach. Subscribe for more untold historical mysteries.